Leo Alexander officially kicking off his campaign for mayor of the district last night. The former news broadcaster and communications specialist for D.C. General and the District Housing Authority is challenging incumbent Adrian Fenty, and he joins us this morning with more on his vision for the future of the district. Good morning.
Good morning, Allison.
Well, first I have to say, how in the world does somebody go from news to wanting to hold the top spot in the district?
There's life after TV.
It's hard for me to even see that far.
Trust me, there is. I've been out in the community for the last 10 years since I left television news, working at D.C. General Hospital. Great people over there. It's a tragedy that that institution was shut down.
Right.
But then from there, I worked at the Public Housing Authority, and it gave me an opportunity to see poverty from several different areas in D.C. And that's what my campaign is all about. We want to attack generational poverty in D.C.
Right. That seems to be the rallying cry still through all the different administrations. What are you going to do for us, for folks who are hurting in the district? What are some real ways that you see that that end could be reached?
Well, first of all, what we're going to do is, over the last 6 months, I've been traveling around the city, going to different ward meetings, also ANCs, community meetings, and talking to the people. They want to work. Okay, but they've been replaced by an illegal workforce in D.C. over the last 10 years. And I understand why the business community does it, because they get cheap labor that don't complain. Okay, but we want to get that back to employing D.C. residents, Washingtonians, and legal immigrants. This is not a move, E-Verify, I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's a program that was started by Homeland Security. And it was also implemented by the Social Security Administration. And it basically works like this. When you go to apply for a job, you have to run those numbers through the system. If it kicks you back as being undocumented or illegal, then you can't work. And we're going to bring that here to D.C. That's going to free up jobs in the construction arena, in the service arena, in the hospitality arena, because 10, 15 years ago, those were Washingtonians working those jobs. And all they want is an opportunity, a fair living wage, and that's what this campaign is all about. But we're also going to approach it from an education standpoint, because it's not only the resources that we put in the classroom for the young people, but we need to give the parents of each D.C. school student a needs assessment. We want to find out what's going on at the home, whether or not that parent could benefit from a literacy program, whether or not that parent could benefit from a job training program, whether or not there are alcohol, drug, and mental health issues in that household. Because we have to be honest, with these limited resources, we cannot hire enough cops, build enough prisons to attack this crime problem. We have to give people the material that they need to make a living in D.C.
You also talk about attracting new business, and you yourself are a business owner. And how would this help to make our city a more prosperous one for everyone?
Well, attracting new business is very important because you want a new tax base in D.C. And I'm going to approach it like this. Have you ever wondered why there's not a government complex in D.C. where you can go and, like a one-stop shop, you can access all the different agencies you need to do business in D.C. and work and live here? Well, we want to build something like that here in D.C. and also put an annex east of the river. And what it's going to do is two things. It's going to we're going to pull all of the agencies out of currently leased space, put them in a government complex that we own. And then, with all that vacant property, the developers are going to have to compete with developers around the Beltway to attract some of those new businesses who can afford to be here, number one, and also can finally find the space that they need to be in Washington, D.C. Because I believe that if you had an opportunity to be in Washington, D.C., where you're working and lobbying the community, you would much rather be here with us than out in the suburbs.
Let me ask you this. Often I wonder, what is that point that someone sitting at home says, you know what, I'm going to throw my hat in the race for this? Were there any pivotal moments as far as you saying, I think I could help D.C.?
Absolutely. There were a couple of crazy moments. The baseball ticket scandal, that was a moment for me. And also this crime bill. When they signed that crime bill and I heard the chief of police say, well, this is going to give me the extra ammunition I need basically to go out and attack you. That's not what we need. We don't need to lock our next generation up. We need to give them hope. We need to give them training. We need to give them jobs. And when we do that, we'll have a safer community, greener community, streets will be cleaned, and be a great community to live in.
All right. Speaking of which, we got to let you go, but you brought one of your sons in, family man, married man. So just personally,
Zach,
just a little bit. just a little bit about you. You have 4 kids?
Yes.
4 kids.
4, 1 in college.
And here's Zach.
And here's Zach.
All right. Well, both Mr. Alexanders, we appreciate you spending some time with us. We'll be following your campaign.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And one other person has also filed to run against Mr. Fenty next year. That is Suleiman Brown. He actually kicked off his campaign back in June. There is 1 year to go before the D.C. mayoral and council primary. Mr. Alexander, thank you so much. And young Mr. Alexander, thank you too. Oh, he said, okay. Stevie said, all right.
All right. It's all good. 7:22 right now on this Tuesday.